Hey everybody, how are we doing tonight? Adler, I gotta say that 5D by your name looks awful good. With about a minute and a half before we get started. Hello, Arek Kusu. Okay, we're just about on time here. So, as you can see, this is a game between Mr. Yang and Jimmy Cha. I always think that's a really funny fit because Mr. Yang is Mr. Basics and Jimmy Cha is Mr. Gambling. And anyway, so I chose this game because there's nothing fancy at all, just absolute meat and potatoes all the way through for both sides. Nothing exciting, just business. And I think that shows a lot of good things, so let's check it out. Okay. So we have 4 4-4s. I never use this opening. I always make her, whether I'm black or white, but there's always one offset corner. I just personally hate the 4 4-4s. The opening's basically over. And that's just not my style. I've actually only played this once in a serious game. It was once against AGS 8 Dog. A few years back, actually. Okay. Approaches. First question, how do we decide extend or pinch? What's the criteria? That is the criteria. Which side is bigger? So, which side's bigger, the bottom or the left? I'm fine, thank you. Just a call. Okay, most people seem to think the bottom's here. Let's get used to using characteristics to check our math. So on the bottom, white has 2 reasons to play there. Both 4-4s of white like to play on the bottom. We can call that 2 reasons. Q4 is 1 reason to play there. D4 is another reason. On the left, there's 2.5 reasons. Black is building not just the left, but the Q16, also the Q16 also. There's more that black's doing in his area than white's doing in his. Does this make sense? Okay, so left is bigger. If it looked this way, I'll just put a couple stones down. Taking the outside all of a sudden makes sense because black has a, so to speak, finished sketch on top, and the black stones are working really well. But since he doesn't have that, just jump in the corner. We won't do a second. Okay, where for white? D6. A little early for liking anybody. G5. R7, L17, L17, F17, F17, C11, C14. Okay. Something to notice. Let's look at Dune's response. Dune's a 3Q. I consider 3Qs relatively strong. They know what they're doing. They can run the board fairly well. I mean, they're aware, thoughtful, skilled players. His statement about it being normal, on this board, it's not normal. On other similar types of boards, it is. So he's seeing similarities. Okay, look at a few things. Let's start with, I'm going to make black's upper left a strong corner instead of a weak corner. And now if we ask where white plays, the answer is here. Because this is a wonderful Sente move for black. Does that make sense? So white's not playing a big white move, but rather removing a big black move in Sente. Okay, so this makes sense. But on this board position, we don't particularly care if black plays here, because in the upper left he doesn't have the corner, and as he extends he's not creating more points. It's possible, but not particularly exciting. Okay. Just before we continue on with this upper left idea, people were talking about A and B. So, use triangles, there's so many letters right there. Okay, the triangles represent 6 possible pinches. Of course, white used C8 to pinch, but all the pinches can result in the exact same situation. In the bottom left, except that C8 can be at any of the 6. And in all 6 cases, white's done. White is not weak. So A and B are both defensive, and neither one's necessary. They're both slow for sure. A's extremely slow, B is rather slow. Okay, now let's look at E. Let's make E correct. Now I like E. This side's difficult, but if we do nothing, is that great move again. But black's not prepared to start any big fight here, so this is just a way of limiting black's approach. Okay. But in this case, black doesn't have any of those things, so as Hadlar adeptly pointed out, C, top space. Wouldn't black want C14 instead of K16? Oh, I was simply making a position. You see me play moves like this just to get a different board position. When I change the board position, I'm not trying to create excellent moves, but rather a different board position. I just soon pass, so I could show the example of black's move.